Today I received a story about a girl who was 17 but still in the 6th grade, which I was like, alright, hold up. It's been a second since I've been in the 6th grade, but last time I checked, there weren't a lot of 17-year-olds in the 6th grade, so I did a little Google search and looks like I was right. Let's call today's subscriber who sent in the story, let's call him Ethan. So this all started out when Ethan, on his first day of 6th grade, he was excited, it was a whole new year. I remember when I was like my first day of 6th grade, it was a pretty big deal because I was like entering kind of like a new level of schooling. But anyways, he walks into his class and immediately, right, something is just not right. Because when he gets into the classroom, he looks around, he kind of scans and sees all of his smiling classmates like sitting there, a little bit nervous, a little bit excited, and then way back in the back of the room, right, there's this like woman, dude. Like there's a girl who is like, he could tell that she was not 12 or 13. So at first, Ethan kind of just thought that it was like either a teaching assistant, which like he's never seen before, but he's heard of in movies or whatever. Or maybe it's someone, I don't know, monitoring the new teacher. Because you know how sometimes like there will be like an older faculty that comes in to see like how the new teacher is doing. But that never happens on the first day of class. And normally the faculty who comes in doesn't look like they could be like a freshman in college or even a senior at that school. So Ethan is really confused while he's sitting there. And while the teacher's explaining, like, welcome to the classroom, this is what you guys should be expecting, we'll be covering X, Y, and Z, the whole time Ethan was looking back at this girl, kind of like, because, like, Ethan was in the front, she was in the way back, so he'd, like, look down at his backpack, pretend to, like, grab something, and then, like, sneak a peek at this girl and be like, dude, okay, what is going on here? Because he realized that this girl also had a backpack with her and she like had notes out, and he started to realize that, oh my god, I think this is actually a student in my class. So after the class was over, Ethan went up to one of his friends. He's like, dude, did you see that girl in the back of the classroom? And Ethan's friend said, oh yeah, no, I've heard about her. And Ethan's like, you've heard about her? Like, what's her deal? Is she like just really old looking for her age? And Ethan's friend is like, no, dude, she's freaking 17, bro. And Ethan's like, wait, what? And his friend's like, yeah, apparently she's repeated grades like 4 times at this point. Like, not like she hasn't repeated the 5th grade 4 times in a row, but she's like repeated kindergarten, then repeated 2nd grade, then repeated 4th grade. And look, dude, there's nothing like bad with like repeating a grade. Sometimes you just got to do it again. Sometimes you were just really just too young. Like I know people who've had to repeat grades, sometimes because they just need to learn the material a little bit better. Sometimes, I don't know, like they're just too young. Like there's a kid in my kindergarten class that was just, he was just like too young really to start school like that, so they had him repeat kindergarten. Like this happens, but bro, 4 times, that's kind of excessive. And Ethan was thinking the exact same thing. But anyways, whatever, right? So there's kind of an older girl in Ethan's class who really cares. Well, things are about to get kind of weird because of the fact that she's 17. So anyways, right, the next day rolls around, or not the next day. Let's say a couple weeks in, because it was a little bit past this point. And, the teacher is having people group up, and he's doing randomized groups of 4, and it just so happened that Ethan, in his group of 4, was also grouped up with this girl. And, they're kind of talking about whatever, doing the project, and Ethan was kind of feeling a little weird, because, like, this girl was, like, talking to him, and, like, really talking to him, like, giving no one else in the group any attention, even though it was, like, 2 other random guys that he was, like, kind of friends with. She was, like, giving them not even the time of day, bro. They would say something, and she'd be like, okay. And then Ethan would say something, and she would, like, laugh, even if it, like, wasn't a joke. Like, Ethan was just feeling weird the whole time. And she was like, wow, that's so, like, Ethan would say something, and she'd be like, wow, that's so smart. And Ethan was just like, all right, this is really creepy. This is really weird. I'm feeling kind of uncomfortable here. So while Ethan kind of felt weird throughout the whole interaction, he didn't think much of it. He kind of just thought that he was like paying a little bit too close of attention. Maybe he was just putting way too much weight on her words, and maybe he was just interpreting the whole situation incorrectly. But immediately, so like, right, class ends, and immediately as Ethan is walking out, one of the people that he's only kind of friends with, but who happened to be in the group with him, runs up to him and is like, bro, like, did you, like, that's so weird, bro. And Ethan was like, dude, what are you talking about? He's like, what do you mean? Like, the fact that, like, old girl is, like, was, like, flirting with you the whole time. And Ethan, in his head, is like, oh, shoot, like, I wasn't just overreacting. I was, like, underreacting, in fact. Like, that girl, like, the 17-year-old is flirting with me. Bro, Ethan was 13, dude. Like, I get it, she's not 18, but, bro, that's still not okay. And Ethan was like, dude, what? what is going on? Like, this is really strange. And Ethan's like, okay, all right, well, there's really nothing for me to worry about. Like, if she's just flirting with me in the group, like, okay, that's super weird. But at the end of the day, like, I'm not going to really see her outside of class. And if I get grouped up with her again, like, I guess it is what it is, you know? Ethan thought, because, you know, he went back home and, he's just kind of, I don't know, he was chilling, maybe watching some YouTube videos, maybe watching some Netflix, maybe playing some Minecraft. Dude, I don't know what he was doing, but he had his phone next to him, and he noticed, like, he got a text message from an unknown number. And he was just kind of thinking to himself, oh, like, I don't know, is this like a scammer? Is this one of my friends? I just don't have their number yet. And he looks at the text message and says, hey, and then a winky face. And Ethan was already like, this is kind of weird. I don't know who this is. But, like, the immediate thought that comes to his friend is, like, his mind is like, oh, bro, this is, like, one of my friends trying to play a prank on me or something. All right, I'll just ask. And he replies, like, haha, who is this? Question mark. And he waits for a second, and then gets 3 bubbles, and then he gets a name. And I'm not going to come up with a name because I'll forget it immediately. You guys know I have a goldfish memory. But either way, he knows the name, he recognizes the name, and there's like a pit in his stomach, dude, because the name, you guessed it, is the name of the 17-year-old girl, the super old girl in his class that was like low-key flirting with him. And he's just thinking to himself, all right, bro, do I respond to this? Do I just let it sit here? And Ethan eventually is like, all right, you know what? I'm just not going to text back. Whatever, this is super weird. Because the thing is, all right, Ethan's number wasn't like public. It's not like, I don't know, there's an easy way to get his number. So this girl must have been like asking around until she found someone that somehow had his number. And like Ethan to this day still has no idea how she got it. So that like at the very minimum freaked him out. And then the whole situation in general is just kind of weird. So he puts his phone down. He goes back onto Minecraft or watching YouTube videos or Netflix or whatever he's doing. And unfortunately, right, his heart sinks again because he gets another text message. And he really doesn't want to look at the text message, but eventually he's like, okay, whatever, I'm just going to look at it. By the way, comment girl down below if you want to harden your comment. That's going to be the secret word of the day. Dude, I'm sorry, I'm just not super creative right now, and I can't think of anything. So comment girl, also turn on notifications, subscribe if you haven't. So eventually, he's like, all right, screw it, I'm just going to look at this text message. And the text message is like, you were really smart in class a couple days ago, or the day, I don't know if it happened that day, but she was like, oh, that time in class, you were really smart. I also think you're really handsome, wink. And Ethan at this point, bro is just fed up. He's kind of just done with this whole thing, because, like, I get it, bro. Like, at this point, I don't know. Like, there's a certain point where you got to be polite, but there's also a certain point where you just got to say it how it is. So Ethan replies, you're weird, you're 17 and somehow repeated class so many times. I'm literally 13. Like just because we're in the same grade doesn't mean you can hit on me like this. Like, let's just, like, I'd appreciate it if you never talk to me again. He sent the message, and yes, she turned on read receipts, so he saw a message, like, it said, like, she read this, like, 2 minutes ago or whatever, and the 3 dots come up, and Ethan's like, I don't even want to see what she has to say, and she doesn't say anything, because, like, he completely just, like, obliterated her with that response. And the next day he goes into class, and he just, like, sits down, and he feels a pair of eyes, like, on the back of his head, so he kind of sneakily turns around and just makes direct eye contact with this girl who is, like, glaring at him, giving him, like, the biggest death stare he's ever received. And Ethan quickly turns around and is like, bro, like, I'm not the one in the wrong here. I'm not the weird one. But after this point, the girl never really gives Ethan a hard time ever again. And thankfully, they're never randomly put into groups again. So Ethan made it out of this one. Click on the video on screen right now. I know you'll enjoy it. Just click it. Do it.